Om Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru. Hari Om. So let us do the invocation. There's Vasudevendra Yogindram
Vasudevendra Yogindram
Vagnanapradam Gurum
Natva Gnanam Pradam Gurum
Vagnanapradam Gurum
Natva Gnanapradam Gurum
Mumukshunam Hitarthaya
Mumukshunam Hitarthaya
Tattvabodho Bhidhiyate
Tattvabodho Tattvabodho Midhiyate
Bhidhiyate
Midhiyate
Tattvabodho Bhidhiyate.
Oh, Tattvabodho Bhidhiyate.
Good.
Oh, એટલે
So
ભી હતું right like મને ખબર ઓકે ઓકે
મેં સ્વામીજીનો PDF મોકલ્યું છે.
હા હા હા
Okay, so we looked into the meaning. The author is saying that for the well-being of the mumukshus, I am going to expound this Tattvabodha text, having saluted the Guru, who has given me the knowledge. His
knowledge
name is Vasudevendra Yogindra. So we were looking into the word mumukshu yesterday, and we saw how mumuksha is the desire to become free. Free from what? Free from bondage. What is bondage? It is a sense. It is a notion that I am bound. I am bound by limitation. I am limited. I am helpless. I'm sad. All these feelings where one feels different from other and one feels limited. All this is the bondage that we suffer from. And this mumukshu is the one who is desirous to become free from this notional bondage. This bondage is not real, it is notional, it is just a notion. And so freedom will also be what? It's not going to be actual freedom, it's also going to just in the form of removing the notion that I am bound. And so, if it is a matter of removing the notion, it's not the matter of becoming free. See, there's a difference. We think we have to become free, but it is not that we have to become free. We already are free, but we think that we are not free and we are bound. Like that cow was already free, but it thought that it was bound. So, as if a gesture had to be done that, okay, I'm untied. So also we are already free, but we think we are bound. We feel we are helpless. That's a sense. That's not a reality about ourselves. So what has to be done? That notion, which is the wrong understanding, that misunderstanding in our life has to be removed. And how can that be done? Can you do pranayam for it? Should I do pranayam to remove that notion?
No, you need knowledge. You need someone to
knowledge.
tell you that
Yes.
you are free.
Yes. So it is not a matter of doing something or becoming something. It's a matter of removing the false notion and recognizing what I am. So then, where is the place of meditation and bhakti and all this thing? It is the place we discuss this in what?
So once you decide, like once you know, like ગાયને એકવાર ખબર પડી જાય કે free છે, then to maintain that state પછી એ કરી શકે કે like when you can meditate, do bhajans, to maintain that, nature of mind. I think, no?
Or
Hmm.
before that, to even recognize that this is what I'm suffering from. This is my
Okay.
problem. Even to
Hmm.
recognize that problem, a
Hmm.
mindset is required, which is subtle enough to look into this
Hmm.
thing and which is able to
Hmm.
accept it. And so, for
Hmm.
that, we require purification of mind. And for that purification of mind, so that we can now understand what the Shastra is telling us, and when Shastra will tell us that
Hmm.
this you are not, this you are not, then we
Hmm.
are willing and ready to knock it off. So we are willing and ready to walk as the Shastra wants us to walk. For that, that purification of mind is needed, and for that meditation and devotion, bhakti, everything is needed. Karma yoga, everything has
Hmm.
a place. Everything has a place for a purification of mind, subtle enough or good enough, so that we can proceed with this knowledge when we
Hmm.
are told that no,
Hmm.
this is not. You think that you are bound, but you are not bound. You are actually free. This freedom, happiness is already your nature. So this is the template. Now we were going to look into this word Natva.
Hmm.
So I'm going to expound this Tattvabodha. How
Hmm.
having saluted my Guru. So the author is so humble, shows humility. So knowledge should only bring humility. More and more you know something,
Hmm.
it should bring humility in your character, not arrogance. If it is bringing arrogance, then we have not understood things correctly. So
Hmm.
why Natwa? Because more we know, more we recognize that how I am just a little speck in the whole scheme of things.
Hmm.
How I think that I am making a cup of coffee or tea, uh, but uh, am I making a cup of tea? Can I be the author of making
Hmm.
the cup of tea? We went through this example, right?
Hmm.
That there are
Yeah.
so many examples. First of all, there are what the plantation of that
See.
tea happens,
Huh.
harvesting happens, transportation happens, and
Hmm.
then I have my stove. If there is a natural gas pipeline, then
Hmm.
somebody created that infrastructure. So all these millions of factors. Then there is
Hmm.
milk. I don't get milk just as is, and there's a whole process how I get. So
Hmm.
even in a simple act of making a tea, I cannot be a complete author in saying that I made the tea.
Hmm.
Uh, Things are given to me, and I just make use of things given to me. So I
Hmm.
cannot be complete author of anything. Uh, when I understand uh, that I am a part of the scheme of the totality,
Hmm.
that Ishvara, I'm part of the scheme of Ishvara, and how even making tea has been passed on to me from generations to generation.
Hmm.
I didn't invent the recipe that this is how we make the tea. It is all
Hmm.
passed on to the from the generation. So so much gratitude is involved. So we don't when we recognize the contribution of the elders, the earlier generation, of the scientists around, so that we can enjoy light, electricity. There were ages when there were times when people didn't have electricity. So
Hmm.
we can be grateful to all the scientists for having worked out so that we can have internet and so that we can
Hmm.
take these Zoom sessions.
Hmm.
Uh, so for any matter, if we think, uh, we can only be what? Namaha. Oh God,
Hmm.
I salute you, I surrender to you.
Hmm.
Uh, you just become humble and humble, more humble, as you understand that there is so much vastness in the knowledge, and most of it is given to you. And in fact, it's a blessing that we are able to use all these things.
Hmm.
Many people
Yeah.
do not get half of the things that we have. So it is a blessing that God has, you know, we are in a setup where we are able to easily make use of this thing. So more and more
Hmm.
this comes in our life, this feeling of surrender comes. And then what happens? We are we develop that mindset which is open to what the Shastra wants to say. Now,
Hmm.
I want to say a lot more on this word Namaha, which I have decided to share in another way.
Hmm.
So, we made a video for Swamiji in which what Namaha means. Uh, I made a note in some text form. So I'm
Okay.
going to play that video. But
Hmm.
before that video is Swamiji's little talk, I think 5 minute talk on
Hmm.
what is samsara. So we will
Hmm.
first listen on Swamiji's talk on what is
Hmm.
samsara, then a bhajan will play.
Hmm.
But what I want you to note is in that bhajan, a nice lady singing,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
I want you to focus on what is the meaning of Namaha given there and
Okay.
make note of that. It's
Hmm.
very crucial for, learning how we should live our life.
Hmm.
Uh,
Okay.
so I'm going to play that segment. Sorry, I'm not. I'm
Hmm.
trying. Okay.
Hmm. કઈ મને સંભળાતું નહીં અવાજ હો. કઈ
Oh,
બોલ.
oh, oh, yeah. Of
બરાબર.
course, you will not be able to. I will have to share. Let me do it. Okay.
શેર ધ ઓડિયો એઝ વેલ.
Yeah, I have to share the audio.
મેં કીધું કે કઈક પિક્ચર્સ આવે છે પણ સંભળાતું.
No, good that you mentioned. Okay, okay. So now,
હમ.
How do you say that happiness is Brahma? A simple question.
okay, wait a minute. I'm not able to see you, but
That's fine.
Then here the author explains the statement from Burhadaranyaka Upanishad. So nice thing to know is what we call truth is happiness also. That's all. So everybody is searching for truth, all right. Truth is not something that is dull or not something that is inert. So truth, the scientist is looking for truth in matter or in some cell or some place or the other. But truth is not confined to matter, not confined to a cell, not confined to a given thing. It is something that is all pervasive, limitless, is not inert, it is self-revealing, self-evident, is not dull, it is of the nature of happiness. So all happiness and all awareness, and you can call it freedom, you can call it love, whatever you call it, that love or freedom or beauty or happiness, that alone is truth. And that is Brahman, and that is self, and that is myself. That's what Vedanta is saying all the time. Hard to believe. Are you trying to tell me that I am beautiful and I am free? I mean, that's the last thing I am willing to accept, but that is exactly what it is. And very boldly it is being said that what else you think about yourself is all false. That's called mithya. You think that you are bound, that you are limited, that you are no good. etc. All of these ideas are mithya, meaning they are all false. And you understand the falsehood of those ideas, and that's all that is being done in different ways.
And this bhajan. So note. Okay.
Swamiji,
Okay.
pranam.
Okay. Going to skip this.
Yoga.
He responded to my.
I think that I enjoy. It is really the happiness coming.
Oh, this is what
I think that
so,
Fear and ignorance, healthy life.
happiness coming from a sense of possession. Own my name and brand something that I possess it. That's what the whole world is created for us to enjoy. We don't know how to enjoy it. Unfortunately, I think that I can enjoy only when I possess it. That's all the only way of enjoyment that I know. And therefore I must first possess things. I must first make them my own and brand my name and brand something about me, and then alone I think that I enjoy it. It is really the happiness coming from a sense of possession. But when I'm watching sunrise or sunset or moon, I don't have to possess those things to be able to enjoy them. So it is not, I realize that without having any attachment or aversion or any sense of possession also, I'm able to enjoy the things. And that is fine. That is what we call a very valid enjoyment. But when I enjoy things which are mine and yours and good and bad, it is not the thing that I am enjoying, it is only the sense of possession that I am enjoying. Nobody can remove the flower. All that happens is there is a change of ownership. That's all that happens. For this flower, I thought it is my flower, which is one notion. Now somebody takes it and calls it his or her flower, which is another notion. One notion is replaced by another notion. And therefore, there is change in one notion, which makes me unhappy. There is arising of another notion, which makes that fellow happy. Both of these happiness are purely a product of the mind. So flower is not the product of mind. But what enables the flower to cause in me a sense of happiness and unhappiness is definitely a product of mind. I don't mind if you remove this table from here or if you remove this microphone from here, it doesn't matter. Suppose take the chair from there, doesn't matter. But try to take this book from here, that's a different matter. Why? Because it's my book. And so how, that shows that these divisions are purely created by us. Suppose the book is lying there, you take away, it doesn't matter. Same kind of book, which doesn't belong to me, and suppose somebody takes away, it doesn't matter to me. Suppose somebody reports me, Swami, I lost my book, well, bad luck, I say, that's it. Then it doesn't touch me, doesn't bother me. Because I have not lost anything there. But anyway, the idea is that this is the mechanism of what we call samsara, is something to be understood. It's purely a projection of mind. In the world created by God, there is no problem. In the body, mind, intellect created by God, there is no problem. Everything is fine and perfect. Except when I divide this world as mine and not mine, self and non-self, good and bad, right and wrong. When I create these divisions, they are purely my personal divisions for the very simple reason that what I call right, at that very same thing somebody calls wrong. And what I call good, the very thing is called as bad by someone else. That shows that these are purely projections of mind. So in that manner, we say that the samsara is a creation of the mind. Tathavi tasya bhogyatvam chitta karanam eva. That the world tempts me. That the world can tempt me. Because I look upon the world as a source of pleasure or happiness or security. And that is the reason why my mind is attracted or tempted there. That's the reason why the thoughts erupt in my mind. And the mind is always in turmoil. There is always a storm going on in the mind, lava, like the volcano. And the lava coming out, so also from my mind, variety of thoughts erupting constantly. It is not because that is the nature of mind, really. It is because mind has placed wrong values upon things, and that is called samsara.
So now is that bhajan, Namaha. The note, whatever is defined as Namaha. Oh, can you read it?
ब्रूहि मुकुन्देति रसने ब्रूहि मुकुन्देति
Sorry.
ब्रूहि मुकुन्देति रसने ब्रूहि मुकुन्देति रसने ब्रूहि मुकुन्देति रसने ब्रूहि मुकुन्देति केशव माधव गोविन्देति केशव माधव गोविन्देति कृष्णानन्द सदानन्देति कृष्णानन्द सदानन्देति ब्रूहि मुकुन्देति राधा रमण हरे रामेति राधा रमण हरे रामेति राजीवाक्ष घनश्यामेति राजीवाक्ष घनश्यामेति ब्रूहि मुकुन्देति अच्युत कृष्ण हरे रामेति अच्युत कृष्ण हरे रामेति हरिनारायण तीर्थपरेति हरिनारायण तीर्थपरेति ब्रूहि मुकुन्देति रसने ब्रूहि मुकुन्देति रसने ब्रूहि मुकुन्देति ब्रूहि मुकुन्देति ब्रूहि मुकुन्देति
Okay. When did I join?
You join? Oh, okay. I'm little late. It's fine.
So we were looking into, I thought it was best to watch that video. Wait, can't see all of it. Why can't I see you? Participants. Yes. Not right. To share. So meeting. Okay, so we were basically discussing Namaha. And we were looking at that video to understand the various definition of Namaha. How more we give up our notions, our ideas, more we become available to that totality, and as I continue to do that, I slowly realize that what I'm giving up is not actually what I was. And I slowly recognize that what I, in giving up, what I'm left with is the real me. So this will be a process of discovery. This Namaha itself becomes a process of discovering, process of understanding. So in our life, this Namaha has to happen continuously. Every time we give up a notion, every time we give up an argument, when we are in a conversation, we do this surrendering. With, of course, with this idea that I am surrendering this, or I'm surrendering myself at the feet of Ishvara. With this idea, whenever you surrender, then you give up to that totality, you give up your smallness, you give up your identity, so called identity, at the feet of totality, and so now you let the totality play through you. And so it will be a matter of discovering yourself. That's all I am going to say for now, and we will move forward. But in spirituality, this attitude of Namaha, this attitude of surrendering, is very important because we want to discover something, we want to discover Ishvara, whom we have not seen and whom we are not going to be able to see with our senses. We will never be able to appreciate Ishvara with our senses. And so, and Shastra says that Ishvara is a matter of understanding. Ishvara is matter of discovery, and Ishvara is a matter of understanding. So this I'm going to tell you, and all you have is your means of senses. By this means of senses, you are never going to be able to see or experience Ishvara. And so it is a matter of faith. With faith, you have to start walking. As if you are in blind, and still you have to have that faith. We talked about Shastra as Pramana, right? So, with that faith, just as you have faith in your eyes that Tula is wearing black color, so also you have faith in the Shastra. Shastra is telling this, so I have faith and I start walking. So, this is the attitude we develop and continue to work on it and continue to surrender ourselves. And so, when we are, when we are interacting in the world, we interact not with the world, we interact with this understanding that I am interacting with Ishvara in the form of this world. So, whether I am in a conversation with a boss whom I don't like or with a fellow employee whom I don't like, it's not the fellow employee or the fellow or the boss, it is Ishvara in that form. So slowly we associate ourselves with this understanding that the Shastra gives us, which is in Bhagavad Gita said as Karma Yoga, where whatever you do with Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. We are not there, but I just am introducing this because we are in this process of understanding Namaha. So with that understanding, we kind of, do our interactions and try to give up our individuality wherever we can. And in that process, we let the totality pervade through us. We let that totality percolate within our personality, and we will be able to appreciate that freedom that freedom when we give up that individuality. So in Namaha, there is a discovery of that inner freedom, that inner peace, that inner happiness. Because right now, whatever I'm holding on to, that this is mine, this is right, this is wrong, this is my emotion. Somebody should not hurt my emotion. Somebody hurts, then I feel hurt. If somebody says something, then I feel hurt. If I'm not able to do something, I feel guilt. So all these, tensions, all these notions creates tension in my mind. And whenever I surrender each of these notions, I am released from each of these sense of tension. So in Namaha, I discover freedom. In Namaha, I discover happiness. In Namaha, I let Ishvara uh, play his plan through me. If I always have my plans, then Ishwar cannot, work through me. But if I give up all my plans and I surrender at the feet of Ishvara, then now I let Ishvara be the flute and let him play the flute and just work through my personality. And I discover the beauty of living that kind of life and letting Ishvara work through us. So Namaha will be a process. It's not a matter of it is a matter of understanding, but it's not a matter of one-time understanding. It's a process of discovering and understanding the meaning to the full. But we start with this, that in our life we should have Namaha. Why? Because one cup tea. Who is making that one cup tea? Am I the sole author of making one cup tea? No. We saw this, that the whole universe comes into play into making one cup tea. There is nothing in the world of whom I can claim the sole authorship. And so let me be humble. Let me have the gratitude for all those who have contributed to whatever knowledge I have. I'm a professor, or I'm working in IT, or I am studying Upanishads. Why? Because my parents taught me. Had my parents not taught me and I didn't have so much knowledge to be able to read properly and understand properly and comprehend properly, I would not be here. So let us not bypass the uh, each of the person
Yeah. Hmm.
have contributed in our life, including those scientists who are no more there and who have passed on this science to us, science and comfort that we are experiencing. So with this Namaha, there comes humility. So this humility is very much needed to have an open mind, so that whatever the Shastra wants to tell us, we are able to walk along with the Shastra. So with that, now I move on to the next verse or prose. So the way that this text is just the next line is in a verse form, and then the entire text is in a prose form. So it is as though the Shishya, the disciple, is asking the teacher a question, and then the teacher will answer. Then based on that answer, again, then he will question. But what about this? What is the meaning of this? Then again, the teacher will answer. So in a question answer format, this whole text is. So, so the author is saying, what is he saying? Sadhana chatushtaya sampannadhikarinam moksha sadhana bhutam tattva viveka prakaram vakshyamaha. So the teacher is saying, vakshyamaha, we will tell. He's telling, we will tell. What will we tell? Tattva Viveka Prakaram. How to discriminate the Tattva, how to discriminate what is truth, and we will also tell you the method of how to discriminate. We will tell you two things. First of all, what is that discrimination of truth? What is Tattva Viveka? That we will tell you. And the method of doing Tattva Viveka, that also we will tell you. We will tell who? Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampanna Adhikarya. Moksha Sadhana Bhutam. We will tell you, to all of you who are Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampanna Adhikarina, who are qualified. We are not going to tell this to anybody and everybody. We are going to tell this only to those who are qualified. Qualified in what way? Qualified with the Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti, with the fourfold qualifications. With this means for moksha, having this fourfold qualification. So the author is composing or going to expound this text for what? For who? Mumukshuna, for mumukshu. So then something should qualify that mumukshu, right? As such, everybody wants freedom, but these are special kind of mumukshus. What? They are qualified students having the sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, having the fourfold qualifications. So that is what he is emphasizing. That the students also should be possessed of these qualifications. Only when they possess these qualifications, then what we are going to tell you, it will benefit you, in the sense you will first of all understand it, and having understood it, you will be able to assimilate it. You will be able to own it up in your life. So this adhikaritvam is a different word for it. Adhikaritvam is very important in spirituality, and we have to constantly work on this adhikaritvam, which is also what that namaha, in that explanation of namaha, all that is included. Basically, adhikaritvam or this sadhan chatushtaya sampatti is meant to purify our mind, so that our mind becomes subtle, is able to focus, is able to give up the false notions. When the Shastra tells, we don't, argue back to the Shastra, and we are also able to stay focused on what the Shastra is telling. Not that our mind goes, multiple directions when the Shastra is telling something, because as we proceed, things will be more complex, and it will need our attention. So our mind should also be such that it can stay focused for a length of time without, getting distracted with anything. So that is the kind of qualification needed. And what is that? So that is what he is saying. So now the Shishya is going to ask the question. The question that will arise in your mind, that same question the Shishya is going to ask. And so you will also be as if in the seat of the disciple, and we will proceed. So the next question is, what are those fourfold qualifications? Sadhana Chatushtayam Kim. What are those fourfold qualifications? Or what are those four means for which are the means for moksha? What are the fourfold qualifications? You can say that. It is said sadhana. Why? Because it is the fourfold qualifications are the means. That is why it is said here sadhana. Means for what? Means for what?
To be qualified.
That to be a qualifier is a means for what? What is your desire?
Four qualifications of a sadhaka, no?
Of a sadhaka. Sadhaka. Who is a sadhaka? Or okay, I'm
Mumukshu.
trying to get the right.
Mumukshu.
Right. That's the answer I wanted. So sadhana is a sadhan, the means for moksha. And these are the qualifications that the sadhaka should have. Why? Because he wants moksha. So for moksha, these are the means that he should cultivate. And these means are fourfold. So the Shishya is asking, what are those fourfold qualifications? Sadhana Chatushtam Kim. So the Guru is answering. Nitya, Anitya, Vastu, Vivekaha. First qualification. This is the first qualification. What? Vivekaha is the first qualification. What kind of Viveka? There are a lot of Viveka in, being talked about. Viveka means discrimination. Viveka is discrimination. There's a lot of things like what is truth, what is not truth. That is also Viveka. What is what is the Viveka being talked here? Nitya, Anitya, Vastu, Viveka. What is Nitya Vastu and what is Anitya Vastu? Iti Viveka. So the discrimination of what is Nitya Vastu and what is Anitya Vastu, that is called here Viveka. What is permanent in life, in simple terms, and what is impermanent is life, that kind of discrimination, to be able to separate it out, that is called Nitya, Anitya, Vastu, Viveka. Then, what is the second qualification? So the author will dwell on each of these further. So right now he is just listing. So I'm not going to dwell, I'm just listing. And then when he's going to talk in detail, that is when I will dwell upon that concepts more. So first we are just listing. First is Vivekaha. That Vivekaha is regarding what is permanent and what is impermanent in life. Then second is Viragaha. Iha amutrartha phala bhoga viragaha. Viragaha meaning vairagya, which you must have heard. Dispassion. Dispassion for what? For all the pleasures in this life here and the happiness after death, in the life after. So for that, viragaha, for that dispassion for all the pleasures and the result of all the actions that we do for pleasures, either here or hereafter, like Swarga, etc., Vaikuntha, etc. That is called dispassion. To be objective and to be not attached to any to the result of any action that we do for the purpose of happiness, either here or hereafter. That is called dispassion. Then comes Shamadhi Shatka Sampattihi. This Shamadhi Shatka Sampatti we will discuss, but it is essentially an emotional maturity. In simple terms, Shamadhi Shatka Sampatti is the emotional maturity which helps you, act out when you're interacting in the world It lets you not react, but be very deliberate and thoughtful when acting out in response. So that is emotional maturity. And the fourth is mumukshutvam, this desire for freedom from bondage is called mumukshutvam. So the author has listed the fourfold qualification as viveka, vairagya, then shamadhi, shatka, sampatti. You can write in English that is emotional maturity. Then the fourth is mumukshutvam, or the desire for moksha. And you can also say viveka, special note on viveka, that it is the viveka or discrimination of what is permanent in life and what is impermanent in life. So this is the first thing that we scrutinize, we examine in our life, which makes us take the U-turn of becoming spiritual. Because so far I was not spiritual in my life so far. So what has made me spiritual? What has made me do the U-turn? Is this Nitya Anitya Vastu Viveka. Clear on what are the four sadhan qualification? Viveka, Vairagya, emotional maturity, Samadhi, Shatka, Sampatti, and Mumukshutva. So those are just the list. Now, the Shishya will ask each of these qualifications, and the Guru will touch on, he will describe each of these qualification in detail. So, Nitya Anitya Vastu Vivekah Kaha? Shishya asks. What is this Nitya Anitya Vastu Vivekah? So the Guruji answers. Nitya Vastu Ekam Brahma Tat Vyatiriktam Sarvam Anityam Ayameva Nitya Anitya Vastu Vivekah. This alone, Ayameva, this alone is Nitya Anitya Vastu Vivekah. What? Nitya Vastu Ekam Brahma. That there is only one thing which is permanent. That is Brahman. In other words, God. In other words, Ishvara. In other words, Narayan. Only this Narayan or Brahma, for Narayan or Ishvara, this word used here in Upanishads or Vedanta is word Brahma. So there is only this one permanent thing in life, and that is Bhagavan, that is Narayan, that is Ishvara, that is Brahman. Tad Vyatiriktam, whatever other than that Sarvam, all of that is what? Anityam. So this is the first Viveka. So far I was trying to hang on to various desires in my life. And what did I find? We were just talking yesterday that if I am going to fill up a pot with what? Coins, then at some point it should fill up. But what do I find? It never fills up. I never feel satisfied. It is as if a bottomless pot in which I am just filling, and it is not even getting, half full. So this is the discovery I am, this is the examination that I am doing. That yes, there is nothing that stays permanent. Even in relationships, my friends, my so-called friends, my family, even in those relationships, it doesn't, I thought that it can give me, I can trust them. I thought that I can trust them. But then there are times when even those areas, I find that I cannot fully trust anything. Right? That Nitya Vastu, what does that include? That includes all emotions. that we are in search of something infallible, something that doesn't deceive us, something that doesn't break our trust. And time again, we find that our trust breaks. So when we were child, we were looking highly on our parents. We thought that our parents were our parents are God and they can do anything and everything. But as slowly as we start growing, we find that even our parents are not able to do everything. They also have limitations. That's another thing that we are able to accept it. But what we find is our first thought that our parents are infallible. They can do anything and everything. I can trust them. That gets shaken up. And so now I'm again in search of something more infallible. And every time, perhaps I put my trust in teachers, I may put my trust in friends, and even in friends, in friends, sometimes that quarrel happens. And so then you doubt, then you always have a boundary. That yes, it's my best friend, but how much are you going to share with the friend? There's a limit of how much you are going to share with that friend. Even that there's a limit. Why? Because you do not find that person totally infallible. Uh, but Shastra says, and you hear this, it is just because in the universe, in the world, you do not find anybody as infallible, is not as trustworthy, completely trustworthy, doesn't mean there isn't such a thing called infallible. There is this infallibility. And God is that infallible. Ishvara is that infallible. It is just a matter of understanding that Ishvara. It's just a matter of understanding the things so that you discover that what is Ishvara, and the way things are happening, that alone is infallible. So we have to change our definitions a little bit in understanding this Ishvara. But what we discover is two things we discover. Firstly, the world is not Nitya. That whatever I was trying to, that is the first understanding that happens in examining the world, that I had been trying to put my faith and trust in a lot of different things. I thought that this security will give me total happiness, but no, it's just limited. I have to move to some other source of security and happiness for that quench of love and happiness that is within me. And I keep on, moving on to different sources to satisfy that quench. But none of the sources so far is able to satisfy that thirst in me. And so one conclusion is what? That none of these elements in the world, in the universe, are capable to fulfill that that quench in me, that thirst in me, that hunger in me. So that's the first thing. That none of these things is infallible. None of these things is totally trustworthy. I cannot trust people and situations just as is. There are, somewhere I draw my boundaries. That itself shows that I do not trust things completely. So, the first thing, the first examination or the first conclusion based on my examination is what? That the world is anitya. The world is not able to give me something that is permanent. It is continuously changing. And so I cannot trust something which is continuously changing. Then is there something which is unchanging? This is a second question. If the world is changing and impermanent, there is nothing that I'm finding, which is unchanging, which is trustworthy. Then is there such a thing called permanent? This is the second question. Because if we don't find, then then what do we do? So far, we were finding that this thing was impermanent, so we moved on to next thing. We found that thing as well as impermanent, so we moved on to next thing. And that is not on just thing. It's it includes our emotions. It includes our intellect, our emotions. એટલે આપણા વિચારો, ઇમોશન્સ એ બધા લેવલે હું કોઈકના ઉપર આધારિત હતી અને હું થોડુંક રહું છું એ વ્યક્તિ કે સંજોગો સાથે અને I discover કે ના I have to move on, or even if I don't move on, I cannot completely give myself to that to that person or situation. So આમ કરતા કરતા એવી જગ્યા છે ખરી કે જ્યાં I can trust myself fully to somebody, and the Shastra gives us the answer. Yes, there is. There is this Brahman, which is Nitya. There is this Ishvara, which is Nitya, which is permanent. So this we have heard from what? From Shastra. We have not experienced it, but a Shraddha che. So Namaha, we have that Shraddha. What the Shastra is telling is correct. And the experience is that the world is anitya. This is our experience. And this, what we have heard is that this Bhagavan or Brahman or Ishvara is something that is nitya. So with this basic understanding, this mumukshu is proceeding. So this basic understanding creates the next step in him, that what I want is infallible, and what the world is, world is trying to, world is as if promising me to give something infallible, but it is not. When I examine it closely, it is not capable to give me the happiness that I'm looking for, right? What we discussed yesterday was, I am trying to look for happiness, to acquire happiness from the world, from the situation, from the people, but that world is not capable to give me 24/7 happiness. It gives me incidental happiness, and again, even that happiness is what? Is that the world which is giving me the happiness, or is it my own punya that I'm enjoying? That we discussed yesterday, that whenever I'm enjoying a state of mind which is happy, I'm just enjoying my own punya, that my own what is punyam?
My good deeds.
Yes, the result of my own good deeds. This is what I am experiencing. So sorry, I lost my track. So where was I? And you have to bring me to the track.
Brahman.
Nitya Vastu. So this I am sure that the world is not capable to give me that Nitya Sukha, that permanent happiness, that infallible trust, peace, or whatever I'm looking for, infallible, the security, the permanent security, permanent happiness. See, I am getting security, happiness, all these from the world. No, I'm not saying we are not getting that. But what we are looking for is permanent happiness. permanent peace, permanent uh, um, something that is not changing all the time. And the world is all the time changing. So this we discovered through our examination, this we discovered, and now we are convinced that no, the world is not able to give me this. And we hear that Ishvara, there is something which is infallible, which is Ishvara, which is a matter of understanding. And so this is the first thing that I examine and understand. What is the second thing? What do I want? Do I want infallible? That is the second conclusion that needs to happen in our mind. See, if I don't want infallible, if I don't realize that the desire behind all my desires, what is that? If
Security.
it is not to get infallible, if I don't
Hmm.
come to that conclusion, then I'm not going to move forward
Hmm.
with this qualification. કારણ કે પછી થશે કેવું કે fine, it's okay, I'm getting some happiness ના. I'm getting
Hmm.
આઈસ્ક્રીમ ખાઈને થોડુંક enjoyment મળે છે, વેકેશનમાં જાઉં છું થોડું enjoyment મળે છે. What's wrong in that? Enjoyment તો મળે છે ને. પછી આવો
Hmm.
attitude. So then we have to uh, make our mind see, okay, see what is the desire behind all my desires. If the desire behind, if it is the mind, એવું નથી કે mind ને ખાલી ખુશ થવું છે. The mind wants to be permanently in that state,
Hmm.
and the mind doesn't want itself to get diluted by, you know, uh, uh, it doesn't want that mix up of dukkham,
Hmm.
sukham. It doesn't want sukham, dukkham, sukham, dukkham. It just
Hmm.
wants pure sukham, and it also doesn't want sukham just for a second or a minute. It wants it every time without a break. It is not એવું નથી કે we will never be bored by, I'm very bored because today I'm happy. Does that ever happen? I'm very bored because I am happy. Or I'm very bored because today dukkha has not come in my life. Does that happen? No, that itself shows that what we are looking for is not just that incidental happiness that is coming in our life or that we are experiencing in life, but we are looking for total happiness, which is not a matter of coming and going, but which stays unchanged always with me. This is what I am seeking.
Hmm.
This should be our examination. This should be our conclusion. So we should examine our life and then come to this conclusion that, you know, પેલું 10th માં આ સ્ટડી કરતી હતી અને પછી 10th પછી આ જે લીધું અને પછી આ જોબ કરી, પછી જોબ જે બદલી અને હજુ જોબ જે બદલવાનો પ્રયાસ કરું છું એ અને પછી વિચારશે કે હા ઓકે ઘરમાં આ પ્રકારે સેટલ થઈશ. વોટ એવર આઈ ડુ, જે પણ આપણે કરતા હોઈએ, so what is the desire, what is that fine, is there something like final desire behind all the desire? The one desire behind all the desire, that master desire, and that we have to find out what is that master desire. The master desire behind anything, behind security. Why do we want to have security? To be happy.
Hmm.
If by that security, if you are if you know that you are going to go through some pain,
Hmm.
would you want that kind of security? Would you want to have a house which will give you security, but at the same time, it may expose you to some, you know, I don't know, some
Hmm.
painful situation or
Hmm.
some, you know, choravine, lutijai, burglary, etc. How would you find a house in that kind of area?
Hmm.
You will not. But then your question will be, but that is not security.
Hmm.
That is, but my point is that behind any security, whether it be job, or whether it be house, or whether it be car, or security in terms of our emotions. We are not just talking about physical security, we are also talking about our emotions. Why do we want our emotions to be secure? Why do we not want to get hurt? What is the final answer?
Comfort.
Comfort. Comfort થી શું મળશે? When you are comfortable,
Then,
is it not all going to boil down to happiness?
yes. Yeah.
So the
Happiness. Yeah.
desire behind all desires will ultimately come down to whether it is intellect, whether it is studying, doing higher studies, anything, whether it is studying Upanishad, whether it is studying this text. What is the desire behind all desire? That I want to be happy. This is the one desire behind all desire. So we may entertain a lot of desires in our life, and we should check that. That this is the homework that we can do for next week. This is Sunday, right? Sunday, Saturday, the homework I would like you to do that, examine your life and examine the various desires. Note down all the desires and see, continue to ask this question until you hit to one answer which seems to be common to all those desires. Just because I'm saying એટલે ત્યાં આવવાનું છે એવું નથી, but you can ask that, આ desire મારા લાઈફમાં હતો અને I don't think કે મેં આના માટે કર્યું. You can always come up with that. But I want you to examine your life and the various desires that you had in the past, or you have right now, or that can have in future, and then come to that conclusion that yes, there is this one desire in our life, which is the desire behind all the desires, and that is to become permanently happy, to a permanent sukha જેમાં દુઃખનું મિશ્રણ ના હોય. I'm looking for that permanent happiness which is not mixed up with any drop of unhappiness. And where can I get it? That is what we call nitya vastu. That is what we call nitya vastu. That nitya vastu we cannot get in the world. So the world, whatever is the world is giving me, is all anitya. And the nitya vastu that I am looking for, which is the desire behind all my desire, is this ekam brahma. Nitya vastu ekam brahma. This Brahman alone, this Ishvara alone, is this nitya vastu in life. Everything other than Brahman or Ishvara is all nitya. This alone is nitya anitya vastu. We'll stop here and we will go further next time. But that's the homework that you both can do, and so you can bring different kind of examples, because you both have lived a different kind of life. So when you bring those examples, it will be nice to see, to examine, and just I don't want that just because this text says, that's why we come to that conclusion. I want us to examine our life as we continue to proceed in this text. And then we can own up what this text is trying to say, and we also can proceed with those qualifications that the text wants from us. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so we will stop with the prayers. Om Purnamada Namidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namah. Hari Om.
Okay.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Bye.
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 Hari Om. Bye.